Welcome to Flip TV Morning News. I am Anyela Omolara. News headlines. Naira nears 1,000 per dollar at parallel markets. Vandalism worsens grid collapse as gas shortage slashes power supply. Now the news in details. The Naira has continued its resurgence against the United States dollar, appreciating 1,136 per dollar at the official market and 1,050 naira per dollar at the parallel market at the close of trading activities on Monday. This was as traders predicted the dollar's fall to below 1,000 naira before the end of the week. At the official foreign exchange market, data from the FMDQ exchange, a platform that oversees the Nigerian autonomous foreign exchange market, revealed that the naira surged by 6.1% or 69 naira from 1,205 naira per dollar recorded on Friday to 1,136 per dollar on Monday. The total daily turnover dropped slightly to $251.60 million on Monday from $281.34 million recorded on Friday. The intraday high also improved significantly, closing at 1,227 naira per dollar from 1,265 naira per dollar, quote, on Friday. The intraday low appreciated by 100 naira per dollar as the dollar was quoted and the spot at 1,000 naira on Monday, stronger than the 1,100 naira quoted on Friday. The improved rate followed a string of foreign exchange directives by the Central Bank of Nigeria aimed at stabilizing the naira. The Apex Bank last month said it had successfully resolved all valid foreign exchange backlogs as pledged by the CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso, addressing inherited claims amounting to $7 billion. As part of measures to control inflation and stabilize the naira, the CBN last month raised its benchmark interest rate, known as the monetary policy rate, by 200 basis points to 24.75% from 22.75% in February 2024. It is anticipated that the naira would continue to strengthen as the CBN intensifies efforts to bolster liquidity in the market, analysts at Afrinvest said. At the unofficial market, currency traders at the popular Worsens Zone 4 market complained bitterly about the naira rate, stressing that the business was no longer profitable. Malam Ibrahim, in a chat with a correspondent, claimed he bought the dollar between the rate of 950 and 980 and sold them between 1,010 naira and 1,020 naira. According to him, the low demand is making currency traders negotiate below 1,000 as buying price and selling between 1,010 naira and 1,020 naira. Another trader confirmed the same rate, saying the rate is nearing below 1,000 naira per dollar for buying, and even for selling, dollar is crashing very fast. He said purchase is at the rate of 1,030 naira today, but suddenly the rate starts dropping. The business is said to be really slow and the CBN rate also affected. Dollar is being bought, but there is no demand to sell, which is quite challenging, contributing to the reason the rate went down. Dollars bought at 1,000 naira can no longer be sold at that price, which is below the rate given by the CBN. A correspondent contacted other traders to get an average rate. Operators said they were buying at 900 naira and selling at 940 naira per dollar. Last week, An investment company in Goldman Sachs Group said the naira had already established itself as the top performing currency globally in April, adding that the local currency was expected to extend its gain amid the continuing effective policy management by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Goldman Sachs economists, who previously forecasted in February that the naira would strengthen to 1,002 per dollar in 2024, now anticipate it could surpass this level due to aggressive measures by the central bank, including a total of 600 basis points in interest rate increases during policy meeting in February and March. In other news, Nigeria witnessed its sixth power grid collapse of 2024 on Monday as electricity generation on the system collapsed from 2,583.77 megawatts at 2 a.m. to 64.7 megawatts around 3 a.m. before the grid was restored later in the day. Although the transmission company of Nigeria attributed the cause of Monday's grid collapse to a fire incident, it had consistently blamed gas shortage for power generation and the vandalism of power infrastructure for the recurrent cases of grid collapse in Nigeria. Nigeria generates an average of 4,000 megawatts of electricity for an estimated 200 million citizens across the country. But this is hardly sustainable as the grid continues to record incessant collapse due to gas supply constraints, transmission infrastructure vandalism, and liquidity crisis, among others. Data from the Independent System Operator, an arm of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, shows that only one electricity generation company, Ibom Power, was active at the time of the grid collapse on Monday morning. Power generation on the grid crashed further to 44.5 megawatts around 4 a.m. before rising to 132.29 megawatts an hour later. The grid collapse was confirmed by Jos Electricity Distribution Company. The head corporate affair JEDC, Dr. Friday Elijah, in a notice to customers, said the current outage being experienced within the franchise state is a result of loss of power supply from the national grid. The loss of power supply from the national grid occurred in the early hours at about 0.242 hours of today, Monday, April 15, 2024, ends the loss of power supply on all the feeders. Elijah, however, expressed hope that the grid would be restored for normal power supply to electricity consumers. Also on Monday, economic activists in the southeast were grounded as the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company plc announced a total system collapse in its network. EEDC's head corporate communication, Emeka Eze, who announced this in a statement titled Notice of Total System Collapse, said the system collapse occurred at 2:41 a.m. on April 15, 2024. Eze, however, appealed to the company's customers in the 5 states of Southeast for understanding while waiting for the Transmission Company of Nigeria to restore power supply. The Enugu Electricity Distribution Company plc wishes to inform our esteemed customers of a total system collapse which occurred at 12:41 a.m. on April 15, 2024, Eze said in a statement. This resulted in the loss of supply to all the phases TCN station. Consequently, they were unable to provide service to customers in Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo State. It was said that the situation is gradually being resolved as they receive the supply at Awada TCN station, Onitsha, at 7:30 a.m. There is a constant communication with the relevant authorities, awaiting the full restoration of supply by National Control Center Oshobo. On February 5th, 2024, it was reported that power generation on the national grid crashed to 59.9 megawatt around noon on Friday 4th, 2024 as the country's grid witnessed a nationwide collapse. The report stated that the data obtained from the Federal Ministry of Power showed that electricity generation on the grid plunged from 2,658.75 megawatt at 11 a.m. to 59.9 megawatt by noon on February 4th, 2024, as power distributors lost supply from the grid. This led to widespread blackout across the country as power distribution companies blamed it on the collapse of the grid managed by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, an agency of the federal government. Reacting to the development, the TCN announced a full restoration of the national grid later in the day, stating that the system collapse was due to fire incident at the Afam power generating station. TCN, in a statement issued in Abuja by its spokesperson Ndidi Mba, said the fire incident caused a partial disturbance of the national grid. Meanwhile, TCN stated at the time that it mobilized engineers to the site of the incident and carried out emergency repair of the damaged tower and its associated equipment. Although the company said its engineers had been deployed to fix the towers, it condemned the act, describing it as recurrent sabotage perpetrated on the country's power transmission tower. And that's the VIP TV Morning News. I am Anyila Omolara. Stay with us.